a very special panel discussion on virtual classrooms, a boon or a curse, which would be taken by none other than our very own Rotarian Rotractor Swapnil Kadu. His Rotaract journey started during the year 2015. He started as the general body member of the club. And today, he is the chairman corporate communication of Rotaract District 3142. Can we have Rotractor Swapnil Kadu,
our moderator for the day?
Thank you very much for that. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Rotarian Rotractor Swapnil Kadu. I hope I'm completely audible and visible as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's my pleasure to welcome you all for this panel discussion, which we are about to start. Let's welcome in this panel Professor Mrs. Baljeet Kaur Manbaha. She has completed a BSc, B.Ed, and MSc in Psychology, Diploma in School Management, having 15 plus years of teaching experience and currently working as a head mistress in Guru Nanak English High School, Kalyan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
Then we have second panelist, Dr. Jalaja Nair, ma'am. She's a professor of English at HR College, Churchgate, having a 20 plus years of teaching experience and also PhD in English literature. Welcome, ma'am.
Hello, sir. Welcome. Thank you.
And then our third panelist, a dynamic interactor, Dharmini, a district interact representative, RI, Rotary International District 3150, which comprises the state Telangana and the two districts from Andhra Pradesh, that is Guntur and Prakasham. And she's from SPS High School, Guntur, Andhra Pradesh, and she is currently in 10th standard. And Rotractors who are there, she's a district interact representative, the same terminology which we use for a DRR. She's the head of the complete district interest. Welcome, Dharmini.
Thank you, Swapnil.
Yes. So let's go ahead with the topic of today's discussion, that is a virtual classroom, boon or curse. Well, before moving directly to the topic of a virtual classroom, let's understand and analyze how exactly the education system has moved from over the centuries. It has changed over the centuries. Would definitely love to hear from Baljeet ma'am and Jalaja ma'am. Basically, in ancient time, we used to have a Gurukul system. Basically, the students used to leave their houses at a certain age, at the age of 5 or 6 or 7. They used to leave their houses, they moved to the Gurukul ashram. They used to study over the span of 10, 12 years. And then they used to come back to home as a complete adult one. And after gaining all the knowledges, that was a very ancient time. Subsequently, going ahead, the school system was started. And by different in late 70s, in early 80s, the school how the current school system was developed, and some of the few comparatively advanced communities of a British government. So they started with a concept of a school. The student used to leave the house for a certain amount of time in a day, and they used to gather at one place, and the professor or the industry expert or the faculty members, what we call it today, they used to come there. They used to interact with the student, and they used to share knowledge. Student used to gain the knowledge. That part continued over the years. I would say centuries, 2-3 centuries. It is still continues, but from last 7, 8 years, 10 years, I would say, the different online platforms are coming ahead. Online platform like Byju's and White Hat Juniors, and there are multiple. These are the two names which I took are just a representation of a whole new industry which has been developed over the last 10 years. So they have come working parallelly to the school system. They are sharing the same type of knowledge, and again, the schools have another coaching classes. We have that mindset. The students are against after the school hours, they are sent to the coaching classes again, the personal coaching classes or group studies, that mindset. And then after the pandemic, everything has gone online. Like the school who used to go in offline education, the complete in-person education, they have also come to the online platform. the whole journey of education mode has been a very diverse over the years. How exactly you look at this journey, and what are your views on the same?
Yeah,
Can we
Swapnil,
Baljit, ma'am?
yeah, Swapnil, you have, explained the whole journey actually. And I was imagining when we were young, we saw Ramayana and we saw how Ram, Lakshman, all the brothers, they went to Gurukul and then they come back as a learned grown-ups, right? So that, I think that that was an interesting part of the education. But as time changes, everything changes around us. So the education system has also changed. And as you have mentioned, uh, from now see, as Baijus and everything, they are coming up. I think the basic thing that is involved when we are talking about such, classes and everything, the main motto is when we are learning, when we are imparting knowledge, if we are using more senses, our, maximum senses in learning, that makes it more effective, according to me. So as this journey has come to see, during the olden days, by hearting the things, learning, continuously saying the things again and again. For example, in olden days, the mantras were, they were said how many times? 1,000 times. And even I think that when we were young, we were made to say the tables in the first period itself. And that is why we are knowing it. But now, as the time is passing, the knowledge is more. And the time with the child is very, very less. So what we are doing is imparting or giving that knowledge in the limited time, but involving maximum senses. The child is able to see, the child is able to hear the things, and thus, the learning becomes faster. I hope Dr. Nair will agree with me.
Yes, madam. Yes, very much. I agree with you. So before I start, I'll just complete the formalities. I mean, I appreciate the efforts taken by the Rotaract Club of Dombivli organizing today's panel discussion on the, of course, current and the most important issue of virtual classrooms. I mean, whether it is a boon or a curse. And I also thank the authorities, I mean, for inviting me to this panel discussion. I believe that such deliberations happening all over the globe today are the need of the hour, definitely. In a period of social distancing and isolation from the public sphere, such talks and discussions are what that bind us together, that bring us together. So I would also, tell you that, it is something that is a known fact that the recent pandemic has generated a lot of literature. And literature, especially, I mean, Instagram is bubbling with all sorts of, COVID expressions and COVID poems and poems on COVID and people's experiences and so on. And it has given us a lot of, several perspectives, okay, of this particular pandemic. And one such perspective I will like to share with you. That is an acclaimed writer, Gayatri Gill. Okay, she says something about this bonding, which I would like to share with you. What she says is, I quote her, in the BC era. Now again, the terms, see the changes that has come about in the terms that we use. In the BC is no longer before Christ, it has become before Corona. Okay, so in the BC era, we were like individual slices of an orange, okay, tied together by superficial, weak networks that were easy to break. Anybody could break that. But the AC era, now you might have guessed what is AC now, after Corona era has changed all that. Now we are bound by this invisible virus that has all of us tightly held together like the chilka of an unpeeled orange. So that is what exactly I started off with, that is binding. Okay, that is what is essential everywhere. whether it be a teacher or a student or even a family. Okay, this bondage is what we expect, okay, from all these talks and discussions and all those things. So probably I don't know whether if I was said that I represent the PTA member or something here, so as a parent, but then also because I also teach, I'm into the teaching profession, so I would be mixing both these things as a parent also.
Very true.
Yeah, so I hope you don't mind that.
No problem, ma'am.
Yeah,
No problem at all.
Yeah,
I
thank
think
you.
that will be an advantage, having a parent also
Yes,
and teacher also
yes, yes,
together.
very
Yeah, that way.
Yes, very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in fact, in the last 1 year, okay, I must have attended about 10 to 12 national and international conferences. And please understand the point that I'm trying to make behind this.
Mhm.
And also probably presented about half a dozen papers. Okay, I've presented it in international conferences. And where were all these conferences held? At different places in India. Okay, one at Andhra Pradesh. Okay, that was again an international conference, and the other at Garden City University, Bengaluru. And the next one was the more recent ones were the ones conducted. All these were conducted on COVID-19 pandemic itself. But then, of course, it revolved around literature. How has that influenced? Okay, what was the impact of COVID-19 on literature? And the one by VG Vazay College, Mulund. And yesterday I attended a symposium on COVID-19 pandemic and literary sensibilities organized by Chetna College, Bandra. So
that's great.
yeah, so why was this possible? In a year, earlier I used to attend about 2 to 3 seminars, and that was it. The whole year I could attend about 2 to 3, not more than that. But this was possible only because of the online facility,
right.
because
Right,
of
right,
digital platform. And this explains that, I mean, the exposure, the type of exposure that we get. Okay, that maybe teachers also, we get the worldwide exposure. The expertise literally comes to our doorstep now. So even
Right.
students, the amount of advantage that has that this online virtual classrooms has, even for students, is like immense. It's mind-boggling. It's just mind-boggling. Though, I mean, we are here to discuss both the highs and lows of virtual classroom. But then it is just something that you just can't imagine. Okay, what are the positive sides of all these things? So, I mean, am I supposed to give only a brief overview, or we are going to start?
That's completely fine. That's completely fine.
Yeah, one thing I would like to say, one observation that I have in my that I have had all this while. I mean, it has to be said that the COVID-19 pandemic has in fact opened our eyes to the fact that we no longer remain an anthropocentric. I mean, we no longer have an anthropocentric existence. The world we inhabit is also shared by several microbial organisms, like maybe bacteria or fungi or viruses. Okay, so the very belief, the anthropocentric attitude that man is the, most significant being on earth, is no longer existent. So we have to give way to all these microbes that are almost there in us and everywhere around us. So just as we witnessed, there are several turns that we have witnessed all through. That is, we have had the postmodern turn, we have had the gender turn, that is probably 1970s or so, we have had the gender turn. And we were also witness to the corporeal turn. But now, interestingly, we are entering into a pandemic turn. Okay, and in this pandemic turn, something that can be seen very vividly is the urgency of matters. Like whatever we need, even everything is getting very fast paced. And that is why probably the schools are also entering into very hurriedly we are entering into this virtual classroom. Okay, we have to deliver things to people, even without considering the fact whether we can incorporate all the sections of the society. That too, in such a diverse country like India, are we in a position to include? Will the virtual classrooms be inclusive or excluding certain section of people? As we discussed, I mean, I discussed with Mr. Swapnil. He was very eager that such internet facilities
Exactly.
go to the remotest place of our country. Whether the people residing in the rural areas, they have access to all these facilities, or else, I mean, whatever we talk about, how much ever we discuss on these, unless and until this reaches to the most remote of the areas, I mean, that I guess it remains incomplete. It doesn't make the circle complete. Okay, so with that, probably, I don't know how far you agree. And we have this little girl here. We have Dharmini. Now, let us
Yes.
probably set her
Yes.
rolling.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you very much, both of you. Basically, if this panel is so diverse, we have a representation from a teacher's perspective as well. We have a representation from a parent perspective as well, and definitely from the student prospect, how exactly they think and they what is their views on this particular online learning. Hello, Dharmini, welcome. Would like to know from your side. Am I audible?
Yes,
to you,
Swapnil.
Dharmini? Yeah. So I would like to know from
Yeah.
your side, how has been your experience? Basically, before pandemic, you used to go school, attend the sessions, attend all the school session during those daytime, and again in the evening you used to study home, or I don't know whether you had enrolled with coaching classes or not. But now after pandemic, everything is online. So how is your experience, and while having an interaction with your other friends, other interactors or other non-interactor friends, how exactly what is your experience like? What they have shared something unique about this online learning with you?
Thank you, Swapnil. First of all, I'd like to thank you, Rotary Club of Dombivli, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. And I also thank Swapnil for me to inviting to this wonderful panel discussion.
Pleasure is ours. Yes, sir.
To my words, online education is really very helpful to us because there are many students in our locality who are unable to uh, go for education at schools, or some of the poor children who are unable to go on with their due to their economic problems. So they have came to me when this online education was started. They all said that yeah, this online education is very useful. With little amount of any money, we are able to study more. It's really very useful. They said that it's a positive impact on online education. But coming to the disadvantages, they are very less. Like some students who feels sitting more before the screens may create them
Very true.
headache and mental
Very
stress due to the radiations. Because this computer sitting a long hours before it on the screen may create personal and mentally physical problems. Beside of all these, we have many advantages in online education. As you said, in rural areas, it is very useful because with internet facility, they can easily go on with educations. And during this pandemic time, it is very useful to the schools, so that by sitting in home, we can get education, and whatever the doubts and anything, it is a speed way of, and whatever the homeworks we get and everything
Exactly.
gets fastly, yeah. And we can interact with our teachers and we can spend more time. But some of the students are there who will just get distracted from the computers. They shut down their screens, they shut down their mute off, and we don't know what they do back of the screen. So I'd not say that online education is bad, but there are some errors should be corrected, I think. Thank you.
Very true. And the first hand experience from that, she has shared her experience. first phase, we would be focusing on all the advantages which has been provided due to the online learning. Baljit ma'am and Jalja ma'am, would you like to share those points? Like as Dharmini correctly mentioned, few of the pointers that it can reach out to the maximum people, yeah, maximum students. It can student can learn at their ease. Like they can have every student have a different grasping. They can learn at their ease. So, what is your thought process? How exactly online learning is online learning provides that advantage over the other offline learning and other modes?
Yeah, Swapnil, I will say that we couldn't have imagined, completing the syllabus if this online process would not have been provided, or agar ye internet, if we would not have got this facility, then it was impossible for us to carry on the whole syllabus, to carry on the classes. And what would have happened? That the students would have lost their one complete year. This complete generation of the students, they would have lost 1 year. So I'll say that this is the best thing that we have got because of Corona. And the second very thing, I got this point from Dharmini. Rural areas. Otherwise, we were always complaining that government is not giving the proper facilities to the villages. Schools are not there, benches are not there, good teachers are not there. But I think that if we as a teachers, if we adopt one village, that means what we can do, we can even have them in our classrooms. The students those are sitting at the rural areas, if they are having the internet facilities, I think we can give them the quality education due to this internet facilities. So as we are saying that we are becoming the global citizens. So I think we can include all the students and we can impart the best education to the people, those who are living in the rural areas. And we should not forget that we are having very good brains in villages also. But the only thing is that they are not getting the proper opportunity.
Very true.
Right. So if we are able to use this, platform of imparting the knowledge through internet, through it may be Zoom or Google Classroom, anything, that means we can do wonders. India is having a lot of, good talent. We are having very good students, but they lack the opportunities. So we can provide this opportunity. And really, as an HM of the school, when we were going to start this, even I was wondering how it may happen, what difficulties we are going to face. And frankly speaking, I am not a very tech savvy person, but when I have to, compel my teachers to use Zoom for the lectures, then it was really very difficult for me, because first I have to prove myself. I have to learn everything myself. So I think I did. And I can proudly say that all the teachers of my school, they have become very tech savvy. They are knowing each and everything. And that we are even now finding out where the students can trap us. What are the different ways in which they can misuse Zoom also? How they are able to, make the memes of the teachers. They are doing all such things. Indian students, they are into this very badly. They are having a vast knowledge of this. And I will say that instead of using it in the constructive way, they are using it more in a destructive way. But I think that this year would not have been possible without this online classes. And really, I will say that we have saved 1 year for the whole complete generation of these students. And really, I think that as a teacher, I can say that I am able to pass on all the messages to my students. Sitting in my office, I am able to communicate with my teachers also. And really, I will say that we are able to give more than what we were giving in the classroom. If I'm talking about the merits of online teaching, I will say, because see, teachers are able to share so many things from the internet. Otherwise, our thinking was, okay, this is a matter given the textbook. I have to complete this, and my syllabus will be over. But now, when the teachers are using the internet, they are getting vast knowledge. And really, as a teacher, each and every teacher wants to give maximum to their students. And because of this online classes, I think teachers are exploring more and more and using all these things and sharing the screen with the students, making different PPTs, and thus giving an insight, into the subject, into the unit that they are teaching. So I think
That's great. That's really great, ma'am. Nan, ma'am, would you like to add on points? Any
Yeah.
unique one would you like to add about the advantages of online learning?
Yeah, sure. It's like when we look back, so it's more of a wonder. Like only recently, there was a pressing issue of reducing the weights of school bags. And that was a
Right,
very
very true,
pressing
very true.
issue. And we were all, in fact, after that, in fact, all the schools, even the schools that my kids belong to, that is the South Indian Association, Dombivli West, here, I mean, they were all after that. That was a very pressing issue. And also, they were all behind finding out solutions, seeking solution for that particular thing. And in a year, okay, what has happened? The tables are totally turned, and now what we have gathered for, I mean, is the discussion has totally changed, and it has got a new turn again, as I told you earlier, the pandemic turn. So the pandemic has compelled us to talk on or discuss on the effectiveness of virtual classroom. So the topic totally has changed. That is what I want to say here. And I think, I mean, Dharmini would be very glad that you don't have to carry heavy bags and yes or no,
Yes,
go to
ma'am.
school and all those things. I mean, the school has come to your homes, okay? Yes, definitely the school has come to your home. So it is, the school is also on your fingertips because of virtual classroom. And definitely, what would have happened? I mean, we all just can just imagine what would have happened if there was no such virtual classrooms available for us. Though, I mean, as I told you, this package of virtual classroom remains incomplete without the disadvantages also. But then as we are
Exactly.
focusing on advantage.
We are coming to the next on disadvantages specifically on the same.
Yeah. So in fact, I mean, though virtual classrooms have gained momentum during this pandemic, definitely it has its own highs and lows. Okay, so online learning, what I feel is more flexible. Okay, and the flexibility in the sense a student can study anywhere, I mean, indoor also and outdoor also. The student can be remain in a room, or the student can be traveling, like we have had lectures, and we have also conducted, as teachers, we have conducted class tests for the students. So I mean, obviously, initially we were surprised that students were not in their homes. Okay, they were traveling. Okay, one student was traveling in the train, and he was giving the class test. He was giving the oral test. So, I mean, I won't say that is totally correct, but then that is the amount of flexibility that virtual classrooms have to offer the students. I mean, you need not be confined to a particular 4 walls. Within the 4 walls, a classroom is not 4 walls any longer. Okay, so with the online at least. And then another important thing is online learning has bridged the barrier, okay, of language. There is no longer language barrier, because we have all the online materials that are there, okay, are available in several languages. So if a student wants, he or she can also learn in his or her own mother tongue.
Right.
So I mean, that again breaks the language barrier as such. So that is a very added advantage. And also, like if a student wants to take down notes, okay, the easiest way now these days, nobody writes down anything as such. I have to forcibly tell my students and also my kids, okay, when they are attending the lecture, have a paper and pen with you when you sit down to attend the lecture. What they do is they just take the screenshots and that's it. I have taken the screenshot. So I said, the mobile is not going to learn things for you. I mean, you have to ultimately learn it. So it's better if you want to retain the things in your memory, then you write it down. That is we used to write all those things when we were young. We used to write notes and notes, but then today that writing practice is almost, I mean, with online, I guess, I mean, I don't know what will happen in the future of written practices. Okay.
Right.
And there is one concept that I would briefly want to tell you about. That is the blended learning. We all know, okay, that is a blend of the offline as well as online communication, and that sort of blended learning or hybrid learning is something that we can look for in the near future. Okay, that will be of help to all this. And definitely the concept of AI, that is artificial intelligence, that is going to, I mean, personalize all the materials, educational
Right.
materials, to suit the needs of a particular student as such. So that will take care of, as Valjit madam already said, I mean, different people have different, you can say, ways of learning. Okay, they are at different levels of, you can say, intelligence. So this can suit a personalized way of bringing about materials, can suit almost all types of learners. So that again is something that is a very added advantage to this virtual classroom of online learning. Thank you.
Yes,
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 Swapnil.
yes.
Swapnil, I will
Yes,
like
ma'am.
to add one thing here.
Yes,
Because you
Baljeet.
know that I saw one chat here. Mr. Ganeshan has written here that it is a triangle where teacher. Because see, I think that this is my, I think my quote, because I always tell my parents that education is a triangle, and teachers, students, and parents are their three corners. But now I think I should change my statement that now I can say it is a square, it's not a triangle. Education is a square because now at one side we are having internet connection also.
Very true, very true.
So I think we see as the time changes, everything around us changes. So I think my this quote has also changed now. So one corner, one side is internet facility is
It's
also
internet.
there. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Very true. Basically, our basic necessity, we used to call it as a food, shelter, and clothes. Now, on mischievous way and funny way, there are memes which are developed that internet and Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi is the fourth one, which is very necessary. We just can't live without Wi-Fi
Yeah.
at all, any day, not a single day. Related to advantages part, I would like to highlight on one factor. Any of you can share your views on the same. While promoting the virtual classroom and online learning, the different organizations are highlighting on the advantages in such a way that the concept which we teach at like the professor teach at a school level, those are more easy to digest for a student with the different graphics. Like he used to calculate a circumference, then the volume of the cone, and how exactly we used how I learned at my school long back. And now they are utilizing the different graphic system and teaching to the student, and that is something which is very easy to adapt. And they are promoting and advertising on that platform. What are your views on the same?
See, I will say that was, you know, when we were learners, at that time, I think we were having the maths lab, science lab in our schools, and teachers used to bring the different objects to make us learn. Now, for example, if you are talking about the cone, how to find out the circumference, as you were talking about the circle, and different square is there, they used to bring all these different objects, and the concept was clear. But now, as the students are more into technology, so to make the things interesting for them, we have to use technology only. Because see, this is a thing which is grabbing their attention. अगर एक ball लेके जाएंगे, the child won't be interested in listening to you. Yeah, a simple ball, the teacher is not using anything. They are not at all interested in all these things anymore now. So as a teacher, it becomes our responsibility also to update ourselves, to upgrade ourselves. And I think that this virtual classrooms, or as you have said that, using the graphics, that has become more, you know, effective. Because then I think if I'm talking about the psychology, the child also thinks that yes, teacher mere
Right.
level pe hai abhi,
Right,
right?
right,
The
right.
teacher is knowing the technology and teacher is able to use that. So I think that we can grab the attention of the students and we can tell them, yes, we understand you. We know what you like, what you dislike. And then it becomes very important for a teacher to come to the level of the student and teach accordingly, because the methods of the teaching are ever changing. And as a teacher, we have to always upgrade ourselves. So as this virtual classrooms have come, so we have to give the students what they like and how they can learn more effectively. So I think this using the graphics is a very good idea. And when I see the ads of Byju's and
Exactly,
everything, see,
exactly.
I have not ever joined their class, but I see they are showing the eye, right? They are showing the diagram of the eye. And really in the ad itself, I find it so fascinating,
Yes,
so
yes.
interesting. What is this? Yeah, where is this pupil? What is this cornea? Where the lens is situated? I also want to know. So I think that's the best way to create interest in the students. If technology, I will say that whenever science is used in a proper way, it is always a boon, because science is working for the mankind, and always when it is used in a proper way, it is always a boon. So if we as a teacher, we are using it, we will use it for the positive purpose only. And I think surely students get the benefit from that.
Yes, yes, very true. Let's move ahead with the disadvantages wala part, and at the same time challenges. Uh, as a professor, while teaching and conveying the complete education, the book knowledge to the student, I have seen some videos. The professor used to tie mobile on a transparent screen, or they used to keep one mobile just with the support of a one screen, and they used to teach so that they can teach a student how exactly to take a pen and roll that particular number and do the design part. They have taken a lot of efforts. It requires a lot of efforts from a professor point to create the online content and adjust this particular online class. What are your views on the same? And at the same time, Nahar ma'am, how exactly you thinking? आपको भी पता है कि बच्चे जब भी ऑनलाइन टीचिंग करने के लिए लर्निंग करने के लिए बैठे they are tend to switch off the videos and just sleep. I have few experiences, and while having the discussion with a few of the Rotaractors, they used to say that my class is starting at 7 a.m. I am just wake up at 7, and that those are the really bad to shift experience. But yes, that is a reality. That is something which we experience it around us. So what are your views on the same? And Dharmini definitely would like to know from your side as well. How do you look at this thing? What are the disadvantages from your point of view of our online?
Yeah, these online classes has really changed our sleeping patterns, because when what is the wake up in time of our is daily is a first class for us. There will be no time for us to eat, or if one class is completed, just within 5 minutes, the other class will start. So we don't get time for get free, and we are unable to do exercises and our daily works. And we have many times internet connections errors.
Right.
So really we will face a little bit of problems due to online education.
With respect to the experience, I just want to understand from your side, Dharmini. You used to go to the school previously, and then and understand the concept. Say suppose subject of a maths, and the say or the history, the same subject. When you are doing the same thing on online classes, what is the exact difference in that? Is it the communication and the learning, and whatever communication is done from a professor side, is it 100% conveyed to you? Or do you think that there is some, you don't feel that much relatable when you sit in person along with the professor in classroom versus to you're sitting at a home, relaxing at a couch and just looking at the screen? What is your first time experience regarding this one?
The first few days, we are very concentrated on studies because we are feared of our teachers. After some days going on, okay, what, they won't see us, they won't look at us. So what will happen? What if we do? We'll get a type of lethargic feeling and just will slowly distract from studies. We just screen off and just go for playing or some other, or we chat with our friends secretly. That option is also present, right?
Yes, you can do
Private
the personal,
messages.
yes, private messages chat.
So teacher does not know all this. So you'll just play jokes on teachers, etc. So it is really varied from offline to online. In offline, teachers will looking to us every time. So we are scared and sit silent and concentrate on studies. But in online, that all won't happen, right? That's what.
Right. Baljeet ma'am, you must have experienced this particular thing, and
Yes.
as well as Nair ma'am. Yes, Baljeet ma'am, you go ahead first.
I will say that this is the greatest problem that we teachers are facing. You know, when we have to, otherwise, you know, in the school, we were getting the students completely dressed neatly, you know, ekdam tight fight must, and fully attentive, they are having, fully concentrated. And then teaching was not a big problem at that time. But now we have to go on telling them, dear, you are there or not? Why you have switched your cameras off? Please on your camera, let me see you. And you know that I'll tell you my experience. Whenever I take the class, I first tell my students, पहले हम लोग मुंह दिखाई करेंगे, right? So I tell everyone to on the camera because I want to see all my loving students. And I tell them I cannot do without you all. So, you know, there are some such emotional ways in which I tackle them, but this is the greatest problem. So, as Dharmini has said, students have become lethargic. And naturally, if you are not sitting properly, not concentrating, then you are not going to get 100%. When you are sitting in a classroom, you are attentive, you know that your teacher is watching you. So नहीं नहीं बोल के भी पूरी तरह से attentive रहना पड़ता था. But now the everything is now, I can say that the ball is in a student's court. They can do anything. They want to listen, they will listen. If they don't want, they can just switch off their cameras. They can go anywhere, and that is hampering, you know, their studies. Because of that, they are not getting 100%. Though the teachers are trying their level best to give 100%, so that a student should not miss. They should not feel that when there were, you know, offline classes, we were able to understand maths in a better way. But in online classes, we are not getting everything. I think the basic reason behind that is that lack of concentration and attention.
Right.
Where you know, teachers have become very helpless. We cannot just, you know, पहले हमारे पास एक हथियार था, go and tell the student, come on, why you are sleeping there? But now we cannot do that also, you know. We cannot tell them that you are sleeping, you are not paying attention, because that eye-to-eye contact is not there. Therefore, attention and concentration is lacking there.
Right. What is your experience, Nair ma'am, as a parent? What do you think? How exactly what are the disadvantages regarding the same as a parent?
Very much, I agree to what Madam said now. That is lack of attention, lack of eye contact, and communication. Okay, that is somewhere it hampers the understanding, the proper understanding, and of children. But then in virtual classroom, that is online learning, what happens is, even from the students' point of view, I mean, you require a great amount of discipline and self-restraint, and rather more, I would say, than it was required when you were actually attending the classrooms as such, classroom learning. So parents can probably get in here to help their children. I mean, to see that it is in your own interest that you have to attend the online classes. Okay, so there should be many times what happens is children wait for motivation from outside factors. Okay, so
Right.
what I tell my children, that is, I mean, you don't wait for outsiders or others to motivate you. Okay, don't wait for the teachers to make things more interesting. I mean, we were anyhow offline or online, we were asked to make the things interesting for the kids, as madam said, by using graphics or using new technology. Whenever new things come, we have to always be updated about those things and see I mean, frame our lectures in such a way that it is of interest to the students. But then, why do you have to wait for such a motivation? You all rather be self-motivated, be self-driven. And that is what I guess in this pandemic and also on this with this online learning, this is what is expected of every child. Okay, to be self-motivated, to be self-driven, and see that, I mean, be self-disciplined. So
Right.
that I think can work wonders, okay, in learning. That will only benefit them. And of course, the health aspect, as a parent, every parent is concerned about the security, the online security, all the types of, I mean, they are exposed to a lot of sites and links. And another very great disadvantage, major disadvantage, is distractions or digression. Because students tend to, when they have easy access to their mobile phones, and definitely they will, I mean, nobody is going to question, the elders at home, nobody is going to question, why are you sitting with the mobile phone or with the laptop? Because I am attending the classes, whether they are attending or they are doing something else. So this monitoring can come as a part, I mean, from the parent. That can be done, that can be ensured, so that they are not distracted, and so that they are not, they don't fall into any trap as such. Okay, so that can be done from the parent side. And again, health matters, like even Dharmini, she said that it's a strain, a constant viewing of the screen. Okay, but see, as teachers, we are advised not to take more than about a certain number of lectures, and even the span of lectures are reduced and so on. But still, when they have these many things, and when they have online classes also going on side by side, so the number of probably hours that they spend before the screen stretches.
Right.
So obviously that puts a strain on their eyes. So definitely, I mean, some solutions like the what is that 20-20-20 solution, which the students can practice. That is, every 20 minutes, okay, a student should take, I mean, deviate from their screen for about 20 seconds and observe something that is 20 feet away from them. So this 20-20-20 can help them, probably that can ease their eye muscles. Okay, so some things like this can, and as teachers, I mean, you have to make it as interactive as possible, because I'm sure, Dharmini, you might be missing the peer-to-peer interactions in schools, yes or no, and discussions with teachers as well as with your friends. All those things are, this interaction is far removed from the classrooms these days with online learning. So it is again, teachers, if they make it more, the sessions are made more interactive, the students are definitely, and even, I mean, quizzes, like you can keep questioning in between, okay, so that you can quiz related to your subjects. You can put quizzes to them and make it more interactive, so that they participate. We ensure that the students participate and they don't skip or sleep or whatever, okay, that is behind the screens. That way you can ensure maximum participation. So I guess these, and another very pressing disadvantage is the higher rates of dropouts from schools. So how are we going to, I mean, something very seriously has to be done to stop the number of dropouts due to any reason, due to financial burden of the internet connections and all those things, and data connection and all those, because of all those things. And there are people with no laptop facilities. Okay, so how are we going to address to all these problems, the grave problems? And as a result, I mean, the easiest way that they have in hand is like dropout from school. So stopping this particular problem, addressing this problem probably is, I believe, is more urgent. So all these things that we are discussing is like, if the people, the students have access to online learning, then these are the advantages, disadvantages. But for those who do not have access to all these facilities, how is this problem? I mean, this is a pressing problem. How are we going to, reach out to such people? That is the pressing issue, according to me.
Right. So I would like to add here.
Yeah.
See, though we are saying that we are living in Kalyan, my school is in Kalyan, but I'll let you know that there are 15 students in my school, those who are not able to contact us because of this pandemic. They have shifted to their villages, which are in remote areas. They do not have the internet facilities. And really, I'll tell you, I'm feeling so sorry for them, because our management is ready to buy the mobile phone for them, but what about the internet? Because their parents are not having any kind of means of earning here in Kalyan, so they do not want to come back to Kalyan. So they are sitting at their hometowns, there in the villages, they are at their native places without the internet facilities. And when I contacted one parent one day, it happened that he picked up the phone. When I asked him why you are not making your child to come on this online class, he was saying that madam, आज ही मैं शहर में आया हूँ, यहाँ पे बैठा था तो आपका फोन लग गया by chance. Otherwise, he is saying that in the village there is no internet facilities, and even when they have to make one call, they have to come all the way to the fields, and there at one point only signal is there and they are able to make the calls. So I am having these 15 students, as madam has said, that dropouts. I really feel sorry for these 15 students. We are not able to do anything for them. If the physical classrooms have been there, then I think I would not have missed these 15 students. Now I'm worried because as final exams are approaching, it will be started from Tuesday onwards in my school also. I'm worried about these students because I think they have missed the whole year's education, and how I'm going to promote them in the next class. I'm really worried about them.
Yes, very true. That was really nice to know all the disadvantages and on-ground reality which we are facing in the society while having this particular online learning thing. As we are ending this particular panel discussion, and we are having a very less time right now, would like to know from a Dharmini side, going ahead, like we have discussed the advantages, we have discussed the disadvantages, how exactly you would like to go ahead with the education system? Like, I do understand this is a pandemic situation, Corona is still on, but once suppose Corona is gone, all Indians are vaccinated, all the people are vaccinated, and then going ahead, will it be will it be good for you or easy, or how exactly it will be going just 5 days a week to a school? Since you are completely now have become used to attending all the school and learning from home and directly going every day to the school, back to the school, or how it will be? What is your thought process on the same?
As you said, if the government is able to provide internet facilities to every rural area,
right.
If it is possible to electricity facilities and everything regarding online education, is government ready to provide to rural areas, then I really vote for online education. Because in schools we are not having the visual learning process. Everything the teacher comes, she explains in the board and she goes. But coming to visual learning, the students get interacted and they give their interest to listen to the classes of visual learning. Because visual learning is totally different from what they teach really. The cartoons or whatever they shows, even up till we have seen Ramayana and everything is also in visual learning.
Right.
So it is better to go for online education because the technology has increased very much. If we really, as Baljit ma'am said, if we use science in a proper way, it is really a boon. Online education is.
Very true. And last message from your side, Dharmini, for the all the audience and all the listeners out here related to online learning or anything?
I just say whether it is online or offline, concentration is more important.
Very true. Very true.
Whether we may go to school or not, it is important for us to self-education, because education is not there, nothing is there in our life. Education is the basic important thing in our life to lead us in a better way. So I just say them to be concentrated whether it is offline or online. Thank you.
Great, great, Dharmini. Baljit ma'am, from your side, quickly, what will be your message and how exactly going ahead we can have the online and offline education both together, or a hybrid model or something like that we can introduce to the school and go ahead quickly?
I think no one can match the physical classrooms. They are the best. I think they are the best. But with the changing times, as we have to adapt to the changes in the world that are going around us, so I think the hybrid classrooms will be better, because whatever problems we are facing, if we are finding a solution to that. Now, time is very less, but I would like to add one sentence here. See, in the technology, we are having that. If the child is moving here and there, the teacher comes to know that child is away from the laptop, that signal comes there, right? If the child is copying from here and there, so from the eye movement, we come to know the child is copying during the exam. So if we are using this technology in a very, very, better way, then there's no harm in the online classes also. But let me inform you that nowadays Zoom lectures are also hacked. So that is really a serious problem. The time is less. I cannot discuss much on this hacking of the Zoom online classes. But I think that hybrid classes will be the best option.
Great, great, ma'am. Nan, ma'am, from your side?
Yeah, in
Your
fact,
views?
I also agree to this, that the embedded classrooms, that is, I mean, we can give quality education, quality learning can be provided online. So why not? In fact, we as teachers, we have done almost everything that we did offline, okay? That is, we have conducted lectures, we have conducted exams, we have also assessed the papers. So almost, I mean, that technology definitely helps to reduce the burden on the shoulders of the teacher, that is of assessing and you can say grading the students, okay? But I mean, that is what I mean, I feel that both online as well as offline learning can go hand in hand, okay? And I mean, offline education is just irreplaceable. I mean, you cannot replace
Very
that
true.
as such,
Yes.
okay? With the, you can say, the personal touch of the teacher definitely matters. The experience, whatever information are there, I mean, at the command of your fingertips, but still, I mean, the experience shared by the personal touch of the teacher, okay? If, I mean, that cannot be replaced. So a blend of both the online as well as offline education. And one more thing from the students' perspective that I very much am concerned with, as Madam said, there is a problem of hacking. So one problem issue is that of, you can say, security, okay? If we can see that all the learning apps, okay, are secure, are mentored in such a way that they will help the students and not harm them, okay? So if we are able to provide such secure apps to them, that will be a great thing. And lot of, as I said, as I repeat, I reiterate, there is a lot of self-discipline, lot of self-motivation is something that is demanded from all these youngsters who are there, yes or no? So that will go a very long way in helping their, I mean, in making them successful persons. Thank you.
Yes. Definitely, the hybrid model is a need of a time. Basically, we need to introduce a hybrid model. But firstly, Dharmini mentioned, and as well as Nair ma'am also mentioned, that concentration and self-awareness, like we are spending time on this education, let it be online, offline, let's take it out maximum possible from it. That is something which is something self-awareness needs to be there in every individual, every student, basically. Great to have you all on this panel. Due to the very time constraint, we won't be able, would have loved to discuss in detail more but due to time constraint, we won't be able to take it a much long time. But thank you very much. All the detailed discussion which we had, and you shared your amazing experience. Baljit ma'am, thank you very much. Nar ma'am, and definitely great. Thank you very much, Dharmini, for sharing a first-hand experience from your side as well. Thank you very much, all the audience. Handing over to MOCs.